the Democrat minority to see the Republican Party sort of tear itself apart on the floor. Whether or not that happens, we'll find out shortly.
Well, stay with us because I want to bring in Rina Shah, who's a political strategist, a former senior aide to Republican members of Congress. Rina, welcome here to the programme. We were just looking at the live pictures. I don't think we're that far away from the vote itself, but how do you think this is going to play out?
Well, first, I'd just like to say, as a former senior congressional aide, I am embarrassed, not just for the Republican Party, of which I'm still an affiliated voter, though I did not vote for President Trump twice. I'm embarrassed for the party, but I'm also very embarrassed for the country. This fight for the House speakership is just an absolute dumpster fire. There's no other way to put it. It should not be like this. McCarthy should not have to fight like this, but it also tells you exactly the theatrics, the trades, the deals, the nastiness, political infighting that got us here. And it sheds light on just how terrible things look for this new Congress as Republicans take over the House, but again, do not have the Senate. It is a tragedy.
I'll come to give our viewers around the world to that question about why this role is so important in a moment. But you described this election as a dumpster fire. Let's stick to the Republican Party. Why has it got to this stage, do you think? Because normally this is just a shoe-in. The majority leader becomes Speaker, and yet you've got the likes of Bob Good, Matt Gaetz attacking him ferociously. Why?
You've got 5 members who are united, who are sitting there on the House floor right now together, saying that they will absolutely be opposed. As of this morning, actually, he left the House conference meeting. McCarthy left that meeting thinking he could have up to 20 oppositions. This is just looking really, really scary for him. But my prediction is that this will go to multiple ballots, as it has not in the past. If my facts are correct, it's been about a century since it's gone to multiple ballots. But I think McCarthy, the political animal he is, will see it through multiple ballots, and he will become the Speaker. But again, let's not forget, Republicans very narrowly have the majority in the House. I think how we got here, we again have to look at the facts. 85% of the Republicans sitting in the House today were voted in after 2009. Now that's pivotal to know, because 2008, 2009, that's when the Tea Party emerged. And the Tea Party really had this rage against the establishment mentality. And so if you see the makeup of today's House Republican conference, it is made up by people who are against the Republican establishment. And they see McCarthy as the figurehead of that. And they don't just want to embarrass him. They want to destroy the Republican establishment. And so they've been plotting this for a while. And McCarthy's been in negotiations with them for a while. He's made major concessions. One of the greatest ones being is that he will allow a vote of no confidence to come to the floor with just 5 members. Still, these members have reiterated that is not enough for them. They will still vote no against him today when the vote comes soon.
And you talk about, you think it's going to go to multiple votes. Is there a clear alternative to him emerging?
There is not a clear good alternative. And I'll put it that way because when I say good, I mean somebody that already has whipped votes in their favor. So more of a national figure type of figure, somebody who's been a part of the House Freedom Caucus, such as Congressman Jim Jordan of Ohio. But he has already said he's with McCarthy. The one person whose name has always emerged is this Congressman Andy Biggs of Arizona. And he's not taken very seriously. He's always been seen as a fringe guy, but he's the one who's saying, I want to be the Speaker. I want to challenge McCarthy. McCarthy doesn't deserve this. I do. But again, he hasn't got the whipping operation that McCarthy has. And at the end of the day, McCarthy's worked really hard to whip these votes in his favor. The magic number is 218, but there is a scenario in which it doesn't have to get to 218. People could leave the room, and it needs to be a majority of the people there for McCarthy to become Speaker on any ballot.
I'm going back to Will Grant in a moment. I just want to ask you to answer that question I posed a moment ago. For people watching around the world, just briefly describe to them why this job of Speaker is so important in US politics. Rina.
Yes. So today it's the grievance politics that win the day. And it's this MAGA faction, the House Freedom Caucus, that grew in power throughout Trump's term, that is actually And not to make everything about Trump, but it is actually about Trump. They have taken on his veneer. They have said that Trump won his first bid for the White House because he was an anti-establishment candidate. See, nobody in the Republican Congress thought that Trump would actually win, but he did. So these House Freedom Caucus members, these 5 to potentially 20 people who could oppose McCarthy, are saying that the establishment, the Republican establishment, is all wrong. We are right. Trump would have won a second term had you listened to us. And he did not. And so this is them doing Trump's bidding. This is them taking on Trump's veneer in order to, again, try to decimate the establishment of the Republican Party.
Rina, stay there, because I'm going to go back to Will now. And I don't think we're that far away from the vote itself. Will, just tell me, is it a show of hands? Is it an electronic vote? Do you know how it actually works here?
I believe it's an electronic vote, which will basically then obviously be immediately tallied and we'll know straight away. And with the roll call up, we are very, very close now. And I just think we've heard very, very starkly, clearly there, just how divided the politics is now. You know, I think that was a fantastic snapshot of just understanding, you know, the various different factions of the party and what's at play here. It is, you know, it's sort of edge of your seat stuff for American politics in a way.
And just explain again the maths, the numbers here, because they have a very slim majority there in the House. What is the critical number here for McCarthy? If he sees, 4-5 go away, is that it for him?
That's right. So the number that he's focused on is 218. Now, that only gives him 4 that can vote against him. And we've seen over the past few days that there are more than that. There could be at least 9, and certainly 5 have made it very clear thus far that they are considered what they've called sort of never Kevins, the name they've been given. Now, with so much horse trading and things going on behind us, you know, in these last few hours, let alone these last few days, who knows exactly what they've settled on? And will somebody, as it were, lose their nerve when it comes to doing so on the floor? I think that's the other thing they'll be looking for. But we've all got our eyes on that key number, 218 votes.
I'm going to bring Rina back in, and I'm slightly getting ahead of myself, but you alluded to it. Even if he wins here, are those challengers going to keep coming back at him, do you think, in the coming months?
I think they will. I think they're not done with the drama. They want more theatrics. And if they don't succeed today, which, again, like I predicted, I don't believe they will. I think we'll see McCarthy take the speakership, no doubt. But will he survive in it? That's the question, because with this vote of no confidence, they can embarrass him. But then it also begs the question, who is the heir apparent? When Speaker Ryan, the former Republican speaker, was in the speakership, he very much was a policy guy. And McCarthy was his right-hand man. He was a political animal, doing the whipping, doing the political games and trades, and almost the dirty politics that Ryan didn't care for. There's nobody next to McCarthy other than Congressman Steve Scalise that I've seen that could really do that. So this is a real rowdy caucus. We've seen it in previous months when they didn't have the majority in the previous Congress. It was very hard for McCarthy as a leader to try to get this far-right faction, the MAGA folks, the House Freedom Caucus. These are all how I'm referring to them because they're all the same people, essentially. It was very hard for McCarthy to wrangle them. And I suspect it'll be even harder for him to do it in this Congress, because this year sets the table for 2024. And that's exactly what these members are counting on. This is about auditioning for a Republican president to win in 2024.